The episode you're about to listen to is a continuation of the one that came out last week, episode 242, and the themes are the same. So if sexual assault, violence, or the threat of violence are likely to trigger you, I suggest that you skip this episode and perhaps let's catch each other on the one that comes after.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Welcome back to the Feeling Station.
Thank you.
Now, last time we spoke, we stopped at the part where you said that you had decided you'd had enough. And after about 3-4 months, you started missing Master, but you didn't do anything about it. And then at the mall, the baby kept saying, "Daddy, Daddy," to any man who looks like her father, and you felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then you agreed to move away from your sister's place. So do you want to start from the part where you agreed to move from your sister's place?
Yes.
Cool. Go for it.
Okay, so Tinto, I want to take you back
Uh-huh.
to before I left the small rural town and decided to move to the city.
Oh, okay. What happened?
So before I left, I took B's number from Master's phone
Oh.
and saved it on my phone.
Why did you do that?
I wanted clarity because remember I had told you there was nothing going on between us. We were sleeping in separate bedrooms. I had found those messages on his MacBook and I knew it was him. It was her. I knew it was her.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the number and I decided to reach out to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that and we met up. Just locally, just within, we met up for tea. And I remember when we were meeting up because I didn't really have anything against her. I wanted to meet her on like a friendly term. I just wanted to understand the dynamics of their relationship. Like, were they dating or not? Or it was just a thing, a situationship, if I can put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought her a cup, a ceramic cup. Just, because I don't go to see people empty handed. That is what I thought at that time. I was like, I might as well just get you a small gift, So
Okay.
yeah. So we met up for tea and she explained that they were actually not really together and that they were just talking, but they were not really together. Okay, she told me something across those lines, but they had a thing. Remember when we were not together,
Yeah.
Master and I?
Yeah.
Yeah. But back then they had a thing, but currently because she heard that I had a baby by him, so they are currently not together.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe her. So I was just like, okay. And we left it at that. I went my way, she went her way.
Mm-hmm.
So because I didn't believe her, now that is when I actually made the decision to move from like the small town now to the city with my sister. Now we are back to where we originally left. So him and I had been talking and he told me, move to a neighborhood or an apartment where there are more kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the sake of the baby. So I did that. And he had also told me, look for a house within a particular budget so that I can be able to pay for it.
Mm.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, fine. So I did that. I looked for a house. The neighborhood was nice. There were plenty of kids. So that happened. And I'd say within the same month, he would come often. He would come often because now technically he was paying for this house that we're living in, my daughter and I. And it was like we are back into a relationship.
Mm.
He was still living in that small town because most of his businesses are there, but he would occasionally come.
Mm-hmm.
So I am the one who suggested that we should have another baby.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I felt like I was in a place to have another one. I had a job. Now I'm living in this town. You're supporting us. Like, let's just have another one so that I can wrap it up now. I don't want to. At that time, I was thinking I didn't want to get to an age where like now I want another kid, and now we are not together together anymore, and now I have to look for another man. I didn't want to have two baby daddies. That was my thinking
Right.
then.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was like, okay. So we tried the first time and it was not successful. I was actually very heartbroken. So I went to the guy now, and he told me all these things that I should do, and we went with him. But I got in fast, and then the guy now asked me like, "Is your partner around? Like, can he come in?" And um, he went in, and he also, talked to him, talked about retaining his sperm. I'm saying this because it's going to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to him about, retaining his sperm, like for him not to just ejaculate anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's long distance. So I was like, okay, sharp, sharp, like yeah. He heard what the Ghana said, and we were like, okay. So, and also I remember I had Googled, and the search came up that the guy should like eat bananas, for the sperms to be stronger, something of that sort.
Right.
So I remember telling him to also do that. And he was like, okay. So a day later, he went back to the small town, and I stayed in the city. I was working in the city. And he came back, I think 2 weeks later, he came back. In my head, I'm thinking, now this is it. He has not been ejaculating. Now this must be it. There must be a lot of, semen.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to doing the deed. And when, after he has ejaculated, I'm like, there's barely any. But I didn't tell him. I just, in my head, I was thinking, okay, there's barely any for someone who has not been ejaculating for 2 weeks straight. There must be something, like something substantial.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring it up with him. I just kept it to myself. But right there and then, I knew he was cheating on me. Right there and then, like when I saw that the semen was very little, I was like, this man must have been somewhere.
Yeah, he could be ejaculating, but he could be ejaculating in two forms. One with a person, right? After
Mm-hmm.
he has an orgasm, or he could have been masturbating. It could be one of the two.
Yeah.
The effect is the same in that he has an
Yeah.
ejaculation. So you had the perfect opportunity to ask that question instead of then running with your mind and concluding that this person is having sex with someone.
So with how I knew him, the number two option would be mm-mm. The probability would be less for that. So I automatically just went to the number one option.
But because what? He said to you that he doesn't masturbate?
Yeah, he was actually against it. Like he used to say, like, how could he do that when there are women everywhere?
Right. Okay.
Um, I take a pregnancy test and it's positive, and I'm happy. But in my mind, I'm kind of sad because he's cheating. So I didn't know where that left us. So Tinto, I can say me wanting a second baby was the beginning of my downfall, because right after I conceived and I confirmed that I was pregnant, I started having nanny issues. Um, I had one nanny for a long time, like a period of 9 months,
Mm.
and then she left.
Mm.
And now it started like I just started having issues with nanny. I'd get another one and they'd leave within a week for no particular reason. So for me, it started being scary because I was going to work every day, Monday to Friday. My baby was still young, and I would get a nanny like on Sunday evening, and on Monday, I'm leaving for work. So it kind of scared me because I didn't know these people well. And I started fearing that one day I might come off work and there's nothing in my house and my baby is gone. So I expressed that to him. And immediately I did. He started telling me, you actually don't have to work. You actually don't have to work here. Um, if if it's a security issue for the baby. But my job was nice. I was taking myself through school with the salary that I was being paid. I was maintaining myself and also paying for other house bills, as well as paying my nanny. So it was this weekend he had come. I had exams, and I didn't have a nanny. So I told him to come and stay with the child while I go and do my exams. So that entire week he was around. He was looking after the baby. And I remember after my exams, that weekend, he told me now it's a weekend, but on Monday, because now your exams are done, you need to go back to work. So what will happen? And he also needed to go back to his businesses. So he told me, I don't see how you can get a nanny. Today is on Saturday. I don't see how you can get a nanny today and they come maybe tomorrow on Sunday and you leave for work on Monday. So that Saturday, he asked me, like during the day, he asked me, so how much are they paying you? And I didn't tell him the truth. I quoted an amount lower.
Why did you do that?
Just because I didn't want him to know, because I felt like if I told him the exact amount, he would ask me to pay more bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
So so I quoted an amount lower and he was like, that one I can be paying you every month. If you quit your job and you stay with the baby, we can. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he initially said. And remember, I feel like my mom guilt was also really at a high because I've been leaving this child with people I actually don't know. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, that amount I can actually do something with that amount before I find my next nanny. And he was like, yeah, so write that email to your boss and say that you're quitting so that you don't have to report to work on Monday. And I said, okay. So I wrote that email and I sent it. Immediately I sent it and I told him that I had sent it. He was like, okay, fine. So now he went back to the small town. A week later, he called me and he asked me, so what are you guys doing in the city? Because you don't have a job. Why don't you just come back and the money that you are paying for rent, we can put it elsewhere. Yeah, so why don't we just go back to the small town so that we are not paying rent in the city for nothing?
Okay. So so this is where the connection is now to moving back to the small city.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I was like, at first I was hesitant, but it made sense because now I'm pregnant with the second one. I don't have a job, and basically I'm doing nothing except care for my kid in the house. So it didn't even last like 2 days. I mean, it was immediate. He sent movers, they came, moved the things, and then he came and picked us up. Now the kid and I. And we moved back to the small town. Now, as we were unloading stuff, because we got there pretty late, like at night, so things were just being offloaded into the house, but not being arranged because it was pretty late. So the
Mm.
next day was when we would arrange the things. So the next day, as you know, I'm trying to move things around. Um, I'm noticing that he's okay because he had told me that in the small town he was living alone in a smaller house.
Mm.
So he had looked for a bigger house um, for us to move into. So he had not lived in that house before. So as I'm arranging stuff, I'm noticing that the cooker that we were using before, his his cooker now is being brought by T,
Okay.
T and some other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at it, remember he was in the city with me, like moving us from the city to the
Mm-hmm.
small town.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm noticing the cooker has been recently used. Like there were specks of food, and there were like food that could have been cooked the previous night.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say anything about it.
There's a lot of things you're not
Uh,
saying anything about.
yeah,
And I know you've mentioned respect and fear, the risk of getting hit, like you'd been hit before. Were all of these
yeah,
still at play for you not saying
yeah,
anything?
yeah. The risk of getting hit now, that one is not there anymore
Okay.
because aside from the first time, it had never happened again.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't say anything about it. I just kept quiet. But remember, from the time that we were trying to have a baby, I already had an inkling that he was not faithful.
Mm.
So at the back of my mind, I really knew. And that's when my lesson about your intuition,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I really knew that he was not faithful. But it was at the back of my mind. I really just wanted this family dynamic to work for the sake of my child.
But
So
what did that mean? What does the dynamic work mean?
I just needed the father and the mother to be in the same house. I needed us to be together.
Yo. I mean, I get the sense you were somewhat unhappy because you already know that this guy is ejaculating elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you already know he makes you pay for some of the bills. Is not really taking care of you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you know some other stuff had happened in the past, and you're keeping quiet about a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. You really give me the sense that you're unhappy, but you're still trying to be around. Did you know? Well, I guess you're not with him now, and you know that people can be happier, even if they have children,
Yeah.
than them being with someone that they're unhappy with.
Yeah.
But at this point, that wasn't playing in your mind. Like you actually could be happy alone.
It wasn't because remember my chapter 0 when I talked about
Oh yes, yes. Oh,
surviving.
jeez, yo.
Yeah. So I thought it was normal because
Yeah, yeah,
I had seen my mom do it, and I was
yeah.
like, I can also do it because she did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yo.
in my head, I always knew my mom stayed because of the kids, because of us.
Mm.
So at that time, I was doing it because of my child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
So that was the second one, being us being together. That was the second intuition that this person is actually not faithful.
Mm.
But remember, as much as my intuition was kicking in, this man was telling me something very different. It was confusing actually because he kept on telling me that we can work on this. You know, you are the only one, you've always been the only one, and that he loved me and that he loved his family and he's so happy that we are back. And, you know,
Mm.
it wasn't just me. He was also telling me what I wanted to hear.
Mm.
Yeah. So the issue about the cooker, there was issue about some kitchen utensils that were missing. Some parts were missing, and some parts were in the house.
Okay, explain. Like,
Like, for example, the rice cooker.
yeah.
I had, like, remember, because he had told me that he was living alone in a smaller house. So that meant that he was also bringing the stuff that he was living with while we were in the city. And now he was bringing them to this house that we have moved into.
Mm-hmm.
So that was done. But things are half. Like the rice cooker, there was only the electric part and the what can I call it? And the pot was missing, but there was the lid.
Oh, okay. So that little internal thing where you actually put in the rice was missing.
There. Yes.
Right.
Now that was missing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the electric part was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was another red flag. We had a 5-seater, an L seat, and a separate 3-seater. He didn't bring back the 3-seater because I went with the 5-seater to the city. So he didn't bring back the 3-seater. So he left it wherever it was. And I remember when I brought up the issue about the seat, he told me that I know it's in a store somewhere. It's in the store. He said it's in the store. I just kept it because I feel like it's not gonna fit in our current living room.
Right.
I was like, okay, it makes sense. So we left it at that. So we move in, we settle in, but I'm still very, very unhappy. So fast forward to I think 5 months pregnant. The behavior didn't change from our previous house before I moved to the city. We are not sleeping together in the same room. I'm sleeping with a child, he's sleeping in a separate bedroom. There's barely any communication. We wake up, I make breakfast, he leaves for work, he comes back when we are asleep. So there's barely any interaction between him and I.
Reason being.
So it was unexplained. It was just, I couldn't explain it. He wasn't telling me anything. But remember, my intuition is like, there's barely anything happening between us. So definitely he's getting it from somewhere.
So what would you ask him and what would he say?
I didn't ask him anything.
You didn't?
Yeah, I didn't.
Sure.
So that went on. And I remember one time he sat me down. I think I was 7 months pregnant. He sat me down on the couch and was rubbing my feet. I had asked him to rub my feet. That day he had come home early. And I asked him to rub my feet, and he started telling me that he was sorry. He told me, Sarah, I know I have not been doing right by you, and I just want to tell you I'm sorry. That's what he said. And immediately he said that, I started wailing. I would not call it crying because it was not a cry, or if it was a cry, it was somehow animalistic, almost like an animal, because I remember it was intense. It Yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday, and it was not a cry. It was not. I just wailed. So I stood up and went to the bathroom and wailed it out. And I came back. I came back to where we were sat before, and he started telling me that he was sorry. And because I knew what he was apologizing for. He didn't mention it, and I feel like he didn't even have to mention it. So he told me he was sorry and it would never happen again. it would, and he promised, he like, it was like, almost like he was swearing. He was like, it would never ever happen again, take my word, and I'm really sorry. And I was like, okay. After we had talked for like 30 minutes, and then there was like 5 or 10 minutes of, calm. I stood up, and then he followed me, and now was leading me to the room where he used to sleep. And he was telling me, now no, he was asking for sex basically. And I said no. And he told me, now, how is it going to happen? How am I going to be faithful if now I'm asking you for sex and you're saying no? Um, so that was that. I really felt my heart dropping to my stomach, because you just said you are sorry like 20 minutes ago. Like, can I just think about the entire situation, even for the night?
Yeah.
So when I said no, yeah, he left me, and I went back to the room where I used to sleep with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that. So I remember this time, I was walking. I had made a friend in that apartment whose daughter was the same age as my daughter. So we used to go for walks in the morning or in the evening. So that morning, my friend and I were going for a walk, and we decided to like get into another estate as we were walking, just to see the houses and whatnot. So as we are walking towards the end of the estate, my friend was like, there are some unfortunate twins that live around here. Maybe we can go say hi to them and see what we can bring them the next time we are coming for a walk. So the gate of that apartment was open. So as we were going through, we were at the end. So where the unfortunate twins lived was like at the very, very end of that estate. And then there was this big apartment, and the gate was open. So naturally, we would peek in, like, because we are passing by the gate. And I saw one of Master's cars parked in that apartment. Yeah. And remember, this friend, I had told her what I was going through. So when I saw the car, she knew it, and I also knew it, of course. So I just took a picture of it in the parking lot, and we saw the twins, and then we went back home. So when I got home, I called him and I asked him, where is, what can I call that car? Where's the pickup? Let me just say the pickup. So where is your pickup? And he told me, oh, I have given X. He was going to drop some things with it. And that's what he said. That's actually what he said. And he'll return it maybe in the evening. But I felt in his voice was shaking. And then I asked him, like, isn't it parked at such and such a place? And then he said, no, I wouldn't know. And then he hung up the phone. Again, my intuition knew that is where B lived. Instantly, I just knew that is where B lived. And it was a walking distance from where we lived.
So I didn't have B's location in my head, because I thought B was in the big city. So B lives in the small city where he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So, he told me that was that. And of course, I didn't believe him, but I didn't bring it up again.
Mm.
Because at that point, there was no point. He was just going to lie again. He was never going to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't bring it up again. So I remember this time he had two phones. So he came home very late and drunk the previous night. So in the morning when my daughter and I were up, he was still asleep. But his phone was somewhere around like the living room.
Mm.
So I saw it and I decided to go through it.
Yep.
And when
So you've always known his passcode in general.
for this was not his main phone. I'd say it was like his work phone.
Mm-hmm.
He had his main phone. He was sleeping with it. That one, he does not let go of that one.
Mm-hmm.
But not this work phone. It was just laying around.
Yeah.
And I had the pin.
Mm-hmm.
So I access it and I go to WhatsApp, and that's where I found the messages. B was texting him, telling him how um, she's heartbroken, that the guy decided to break up with her, and that basically I only found B's chats. His chats were not there. They had been deleted. So I assumed whatever B is texting was like a response to whatever he had said in the chat before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so B was telling Master the way she's a godly woman and she'll always go to church until she gets her heart's desires. So as I read more into the chat, her heart's desires were actually having a baby, and she was talking about how she didn't let go of her baby because she didn't know the father, and that it was Master that pushed her to have an abortion. So remember that time when he had approached me?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was reading along those lines where basically what I understood, they were trying to have a baby. Master was like um, taking it back and forth with her about having that baby.
Mm-hmm.
And he really wanted that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was what I understood from the chat.
Hmm.
So immediately I went and like woke him up and asked him like what that was. And he denied it. He actually told me, I remember he told me, I don't want anything to do with this girl. And you can clearly see I have not spoken to her. She's the one that wants me, and she wants me to give her a baby. But I can't because I told her I'm with you and I love you and I love you as my wife and I love my family. I don't want her. It is you that I want.
Hmm.
Yeah. So deep down, I knew it was a lie. I actually knew it was a lie. So I left it at that. I was like, okay.
Mm.
And I gave him his phone, and that was that.
Mm.
So um, I was due to give birth in February, very early February. So in January, I didn't believe him. So I really wanted to get to the bottom of this. And I feel like maybe also, I feel like B also wanted to reach out to me and tell me what had been going on. So in January, I went on Instagram. I had a business account. I went on Instagram with my business account and I followed her. In my head, I was telling myself, I know she doesn't know it's me because I have no affiliation, like personal affiliation with the page. Like my name is not there, it's just a business page.
Uh-huh.
So immediately I followed her. She DMs me.
Mm.
That page I was selling dresses and bags and handbags. So she DM'd me and asked me, you know, do you have this and this? And I remember telling her, because I wanted to act like it was not me. I didn't want her to know it was me.
Mm.
So I remember just telling her no, but once we restock, I'll be reaching out to you. Yeah. And that
Mm-hmm.
was that.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, she texts me again
Mm-hmm.
and was like, hey, I'd like to get to know you more and whatnot. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, yeah. So, you tell me about yourself. And I told her about myself, but it was all a lie. I told her that I was this person. I was living in a different place. I was living with my brother. And, I'm just trying to hustle now. This is my business. That is what I told her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she told me about herself. She told me truthfully. And then I remember this time, she asked me, like, are you dating? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then she told me that she needed to tell me something and she hoped that I wouldn't judge her. So
Okay.
she told me, yeah, she told me that she was in a relationship with a married man and that this married man really wanted to give her a baby, but she doesn't want. She feels like she's not yet ready to have the baby, and that this man spends a lot of time at night, like after work, at her place, and then he goes back to his place like later in the night.
Mm-hmm.
So all this, we are not talking like, it's not a span of like a day. Over time, she's telling me these things. Like I'd say, like within a week or 2 weeks, we are talking about all these things until it reached a point where we used to talk in the evenings, and at around 7 p.m., she would stop responding and come back online at around 11 p.m. And then by the time she's coming back online,
Mm-hmm.
Master is also
Coming back
getting to
home.
the house.
Yo.
Yeah,
Yo. Yo.
yeah.
Yo. Yo.
So I remember now, it had been a routine. So I remember just casually asking her, so when you go offline, is your man normally there? And she tells me, yeah.
Mm-mm.
And that's why I go offline and I come back online when now he has gone to his place.
Mm.
Um, so I feel like at that time I felt like whatever I was looking for, I found. So
Mm.
now I stopped interacting with her like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that is how the interaction stopped actually. Because whatever I was going to look for,
You had
I
found.
already found.
Mm.
Yeah.
You used it pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm.
But is it really using?
Yeah, it is.
She was just coming.
Because you've just said you got what you wanted. You
Yeah.
used it for
Yeah.
information, and you got the
Yeah.
information.
Yeah. So after I knew that, I'd say now that is when I started planning my second exit, but it didn't happen so soon. It happened way later than I thought. So I remember I delivered my son, and the relationship was still very, very rocky. We weren't talking at this point. We were only talking about like, what do you need for the baby? What does the older baby need? And stuff like that. But it was never about us.
Mm.
So I remember after I had delivered, he came to see me in hospital and he came with flowers. And that was the first time ever in the relationship for him to get me flowers,
Mm.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and remember, when I found out all this information, I was now 1 week due to me having because it was a C-section, so it was scheduled.
Mm.
So, for me to go into hospital. And I wasn't happy, but I feel like he really felt proud of himself for having bought me the flowers
Mm.
and expected the same reaction, like I needed to be grateful,
Mm.
and I wasn't. So we come back from the hospital, and as we are unpacking things from the car, I had a I had a day nanny. She was not sleeping in, but she would come during the day.
Mm.
I remember telling her, the flowers, just find somewhere to put them. So I don't know how she interpreted that,
Mm.
because the next time we are talking about the flowers, Master is telling me, so I got you flowers and you threw them in the dustbin.
The nanny put them in the bin.
Yeah, the nanny threw them like in the trash.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so about that issue, all this time we are not talking.
Mm.
We are sleeping in separate bedrooms. He's doing his thing. I'm caring for the kids. And I'm also at this point, I'm actually very, very depressed. I am regretting ever wanting to conceive again. I'm regretting quitting my job. Basically, I'm regretting everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, he had mentioned that he wants us to be more stable. So he had acquired a house and a piece of land that he was renovating, that now would be like a more permanent house for us, and we would stop paying rent and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me, for us to save some money, we're going to move to his brother's house. Remember, his brother does not live like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
we
the
are going
house
to
that he
move
was
to,
looking after.
yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to move there, so that we can save some money as he renovates this piece of land and this house that he had acquired.
Mm-hmm.
So while we are there, things are thick. We are still not talking. And this time now, I don't have a nanny. It's just me and the kids and him in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I remember I just told him, I'm actually so tired. I'm actually so fed up, and I want to go.
Mm.
I want to leave. And I was actually so serious about it. I had packed the kids' clothes, my clothes. I had packed. So when he went into the room that the kids and I were sleeping in,
Mm.
he found that I had actually packed. And that was at night when he saw that when he came. Remember, he used to leave in the morning and come back when we are asleep.
Yeah.
So when he came back when we were asleep, he saw the bags, and then he woke me up. He woke me up and dragged me to the kitchen, like by my wrist, and he was holding it so tightly. And he told me, if you want to leave, you can leave even now, but not with the kids, not with my
Mm.
kids, not with his kids. And I kept telling him, no, my son is actually very, very young. I cannot leave him.
Mm.
He was not eating anything at that time, only breastfeeding. And I kept saying, I cannot leave my son. I cannot leave my son. I cannot leave the kids at all. If I'm leaving, I'm leaving with them. And this time he has not yet let go of my wrist. So he continued pressing it and holding it so tightly. And now he told me, don't make me do something that I'm going to regret for the rest of my life.
Yo.
Um, so after he said that, I I was scared. I became so scared. So I remember just telling him, "Can we talk about this tomorrow? Like, I need to go to sleep. Can we talk about this tomorrow?" So he let go of me, and I went to my room, and he proceeded to his room. And the following day, I called his mom. I told his mother there is an issue, and I really needed her to be there. So the mom told me, okay, and she was there. She was there the next day. So I told her what happened. I told her the reason I'm leaving is because Master has been unfaithful and has been with this person. the entire of my pregnancy. When when we were in the city, they were still together, and that is the reason I want to leave.
Mm.
And I remember the mom telling me, there's no household that does not have its problems, and that even her, she had her own set of problems, and that it was normal. And she told me, even if you're planning to leave, you can't leave right now. Where are you going? You're going to stress your parents. You can't leave. The kids are still young.
Mm-mm.
You can't leave. You just, I'll talk to him. You just stay here. I'm going to talk to him. But you don't leave. I'm going to talk to him. And I was like, okay. So I didn't leave.
Sure.
So that was in 2024. So later in the year, he had finished renovating the house and we moved in. I remember when we were moving into that house, um, he was talking about now this is a new beginning for him, and that he was different, and you know it's now like a new chapter. We are starting afresh. And I remember just thinking, okay, I guess we'll see.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I just said, I guess we'll see. So I think I can say nothing changed. They were still together. And now the dynamic had changed, because remember, all this time we had never slept in the same room like over a long period of time. It would be like maybe 3 days, and then he would go to a different room.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
Yeah. So things were okay for a while, because remember, now he had promised that, this is a new chapter. So I'd say now he was a loving family man. He would come home early, he would spend time with the kids. We would talk on a friendlier note. You know, I felt like, now we are starting over. He's more present. Um, Now I'd say I'll just fast forward it to 2025.
Mm-hmm.
2025, the New Year's. We had a time his brother had come back from abroad. We had a time. Now I feel like normally how you start the year is how your year is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
majority of the time. So I remember we celebrated the New Year's in the club, with his brother, the wife, basically family. Everyone was there.
Mm.
And even after the celebrations, the brother had already gone. Him and I still used to, go out, have fun, and then come back. So this time, after we had moved to this new place, he told me, there's a there's a smaller house closer to the gate. You could take that and use it as a shop,
Mm-hmm.
a dental shop.
Mm-hmm.
So remember when he had told me, leave the city and come back to this smaller town. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be paying you whatever your employer has been
Yeah.
paying you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh.
So this is the second time that is not happening.
Mm.
So he told me, I'll you just try to just approximate a budget of what you'd need for setting up this shop and letting that be your business. Run it as your business now. So I did that. I gave him the quotation, and we went, and he gave me the money. I bought the stuff and set up shop. So the business was doing all right. I
Mm.
was making some money.
Mm-hmm.
So later, uh, later, I think a few months later, because he was a businessman, he had acquired a certain business premise that was a hotspot. and he wanted to make it a restaurant that was just selling purely meat because it was next to a club.
Oh, right, yeah. So if people having a session at the club, they would come over and get some meat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what he said. And it was his business. He was just telling me it was his business idea and everything was actually his. But now he was telling me that because he has other businesses, he didn't he didn't have someone to be present there every time. And he was saying he didn't want to hire anyone because the business was still, at the formative stages.
Mm.
So he told me to move my shop. If it's possible, I could move my shop to that area. At first, it was not making sense to me because the shop that he was giving me that was closer to his business, that food business, it was not a hotspot. It was like no one would actually come and buy whatever I'm selling.
Yeah.
When it's at that position. So I told him that, but he kept insisting, this business of his is going to make so much money. It will even surpass my business. You're going to make basically a lot of money because now here we're dealing with food and there are drunkards here. It's a catch. And because now, before I even moved my stuff, I had been spending a lot of time there because he kept telling me, we are doing this for us, we're doing this for the family, just go and check out the business. Just go and, keep eyes on it for me. So I'd spend a lot of time there running it, basically. And in turn, I neglected my business. So that led to me closing the business down, my business, because now I was not getting any customers. In turn, I didn't have money to restock the business.
Yeah.
So what that meant was now I'm fully immersed into your business. But the downside was he was not paying me anything.
So he has given you a double whammy. No income, no business.
Yes. So I'm back to being dependent on him fully. Because when I had my business, at least I was doing things for myself. I was saving money for myself. But now I do not have my business. His business is not paying me. Yeah. So I was back to being dependent on him. And this came with a lot of, I'd say, emotional and also financial abuse because I would ask him for money for necessities and it would take time. He would really drag it out. Like he wants to give it to me, but he doesn't want at the same time. Basically, it was like now it turned into me begging him, basically, for basic things that had to do with me personally and not the house. So that was that. I remember I also had an issue with the nanny at some point. So now I stopped going to his business entirely. Now I had to stay at home. After all, the business was not paying me. So I was like, okay, I'll just stay at home. So I stayed at home for a while and I found a nanny. So after I found a nanny, this night he told me, let's go have some drinks, and catch up. And I remember we went out and I mixed alcohol. I had beers and then we moved and he told me, let me just buy you whiskey because, at the club that we are at, normally it has different section. If you're taking whiskey, you sit at a certain side. And if you're taking beers, you sit at a certain side. So he wanted beers, but he wanted to sit in the areas where people are having whiskey. So he told me, let me just buy you whiskey, but I'm not taking it. I just want to have my beers, but I want to sit on this side. So I was like, okay, I'll take like a couple shots out of the whiskey because, you bought it, so we have to take it.
Mm.
And I remember that really, can I curse? That really
Yeah.
fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so drunk. I think I blacked out because I also started vomiting at some point.
Mm-mm.
But now that was when we are leaving. So I get into the car and we got home. And just in the compound outside, I started vomiting. So he went, opened the door, and carried me inside.
Mm.
When he carried me inside, he took me to his bedroom where he used to sleep. And I'm not thinking anything of it. I mean, we, how can I say it? I trust you, like, I trust you. So I remember the next day, when I woke up, because I had blacked out. When I woke up, I didn't have my clothes on, but I don't remember taking them off because I know myself, when I'm blackout drunk, I don't remove anything that I've had on.
Mm.
So when I woke up, I didn't have clothes on.
Mm-mm.
And I asked him, like, did anything happen? Did anything happen, like, yesterday night? And he was like, yeah, see, you were asking for it.
Hmm.
I know myself. I really do know myself. As much as I was throwing up and the alcohol had fucked me up, and I was like, how? I had blacked out. How was I asking for it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and he was like, you are asking for it. And I asked him, now, did we use a, because I was not on any contraceptive. I like, did you use protection? And he was like, no. So you told me we go without. And now he was laughing.
Hmm.
And I told him, no, I didn't say that. And I remember telling him, Master, that is actually rape. I
Yeah.
know I didn't, 100% sure I did not ask for it.
Mm.
So I asked him, like, so when were you planning to tell me? And
Yeah.
he didn't have an answer for that. And I remember him now asking me, oh, so you don't want a third born?
Hmm.
And I told him, no, I
Hmm.
actually don't. So I told him to go and grab me Plan B,
Hmm.
uh, which he did. And before he gave it to me, I remember he had mentioned, like, before you take it, like, can we go again just before you take it? And I was like, no. And so I just took it, and you know, that was that. But I
Hmm.
remember in that moment, I remember telling myself, I actually need to leave. I actually really need to go. I'm not happy. I'm just living with my enemy. I remember there was that were like ringing in my head, was like, I'm actually just living with my enemy. This person actually hates me so much, because why is it when things are kind of looking up and we're okay, you're doing funny business without involving me?
Yeah.
So it didn't last long. I think a month later, as I was planning to leave, now things are, I'd say the energy is different, because in my head, I know I'm going to leave. And
Mm.
some part of me thinks he has also started sensing it, because I'm very, very distant.
Mm.
He came and told me, maybe we should go catch some drinks. And then he followed it up by saying, or you will say that I have raped you again.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm not in the mood. And you actually did rape me. I'm not saying because I'm putting it on you. You actually did that. And he was like, okay. So we didn't go and catch drinks. So I remember like a week later, I just packed my stuff and I left. I left alone. I left the kids with him
Hmm.
and I left. I moved back to the city with my sister. And yeah, before I left, that same day, like I'd say 30 minutes before I traveled, I called his mom again, and I had told her, now this is the issue, the same issue that I had told you last time, and this time I'm actually leaving. The mom said the same thing, don't leave, as long as he has not brought the woman to your house, I don't see why you should leave.
Yo. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. You know, it's so disheartening how the culture that we both come from encourages this kind of behavior.
yeah.
It is
So
so incredibly unhealthy. This is what the third woman to be telling you to just stay.
yeah.
Sure.
So that actually really did break my heart
Mm,
because I remember her telling me again, it's not like these things didn't happen to me also, like they also happened to me. And you see where I am today.
mm,
Um, I'm here because I endured.
mm,
And I remember just listening to her and thinking, yeah, these people actually don't like me
mm,
because I cannot be constantly telling you that I'm hurting or whatever your son is doing, and also telling your son that, you know,
mm,
what you're doing is not okay and that you're hurting me. And your response is kind of similar. It's like you're taking your son's side, talking about as long as he has not brought the woman into this house, then you don't see where I should be living.
mm.
So immediately she left. She had told me, you don't go. We can talk this out. But I knew I was leaving. I
Yeah.
knew I was going. So when she was leaving, because now where we had moved to and where she lived was a walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
So as she was leaving, the kids followed her. And I was like, yeah, we're going to our grandmother's place. And I was like, yeah, you guys go. Because I also didn't want them to see me actually living with a suitcase. Perhaps they would care and maybe it
Mm,
could make me change my mind. So I
mm,
was like, yeah, you
mm,
guys go. You guys go. So I remember Master was outside. There was some construction that was going on around with in the compound, and he was with the guys, like the workers.
mm,
So he didn't know I was leaving. He actually didn't know. So I think I should mention, before I finalized on me, I had already planned, after the sexual harassment happened, I was said that this is actually not the place for me. And that morning, as I was leaving, his phone was in my room. Would I say coincidentally? I don't know. But normally I just say it's the universe.
mm.
His phone was in my room. Now, that morning that I made the decision to actually pack
Leave.
my things and leave,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
his phone was in my room. And when I decided, let me just see, because he was not around. He was not in the same room with the phone. So
mm.
I remember his phone was locked.
The
I don't
pen.
have his, yeah, his pin,
Mm.
but his notifications I can see.
Right.
Yeah. So I remember just scrolling up and seeing that number, because at this point I had crammed B's number. I knew. I
Yeah.
knew it.
Mm.
Yeah. I remember just scrolling up and seeing that number, and the text was reading, um, I think we have to talk, and I think we have to talk and I think plan it better. No, that was what the text was saying.
Mm.
So I was like, okay. And I remember asking myself, so why am I here?
Mm.
I remember I just asked myself, so why am I actually here? And that is when I actually just stood up there and then, and packed. I packed a few of my clothes. I took a shower, and after I had done like getting ready for myself, I called the mom. The mom came because it's a walking distance, remember?
Mm-hmm.
The mom came. I told her that I was leaving. She told me what she told me. And afterwards, I just left. So all
Mm-hmm.
this time, Master didn't know that I was leaving. So because from the house to the gate, it's a little bit of a stretch. So when I was like walking that stretch, I remember he was just looking at me.
Mm.
He didn't say anything at all. He just looked at me. He didn't say anything.
Mm.
And so, yeah, that is how I left.
And he said absolutely nothing.
Nothing. He did not say anything. He did not try to stop me. Basically, he didn't say anything.
Sure. How long have you
Yeah.
been away from him now?
Um, I left in October, but now something happened in January last month.
Oh, what
I
happened?
left in October, and in December I went back. I went back to the house to pick the kids for the December holiday. Nothing happened. I just went, picked them up, and we left. And then I brought them back in January because my daughter was opening school and he was not around when I was bringing them back. So I stayed there a bit because he was not around. He was now in the city. So I waited for him to come back. Immediately he came back, I left.
Mm.
All the time we are not talking. So in January, my son's birthday is in February.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since I left, we had been talking with the kids virtually through WhatsApp call.
Mm-hmm.
We had been talking, and we had also been talking with him. Majorly, personally, I was talking to him about the kids. I have never really initiated any conversation with him, but he would call me on like very late at night on Fridays, and I knew like probably this is just drunk calling.
Mm-hmm.
But for the calls, I never picked up. But also, he had been calling and telling me we needed to talk, and that how normally he would say we need to talk about how we are going to raise the kids. I'll be like, okay. And then he would be like, as much as you don't want to be with me, how about you just come and stay with the kids until you find a job?
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
nice.
I remember,
Mm.
mhm.
He's
And I
trying
used to
to
say,
he's trying to woo you back now to get you back to that place, knowing that once he has you, they can persuade you to stay, isn't he?
yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Mm.
And I remember telling him, no, 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 I can't do that. I'm actually not coming back. And that was that. So in January, my son's birthday is early Feb, like the first day of February.
Mm.
So on the 28th of January, on the 27th of January, I traveled to that town, like back to where they live. So I went back, and the first 2 days there was no communication from him to me. But on the second day that I was there, I remember I left because I had stayed in that town for a while and I had friends. So I decided, because my daughter is in school, my son, yes, we are bonding, but majority of the time we are just chilling. So I decided, let me go see my friend.
Mm.
So I went and saw my friend on that day. And when my daughter came back from school, she didn't find me, and she was unhappy. Basically, she was sad. She thought that I had left.
Mm.
So in the evening, Master calls me, and he was talking very rudely to me, talking about, if I wanted to come back so that I could. I don't know how to say it in English, because now in our language now it's kind of uncouth.
Well, let's just say it because there's a few Kenyans who listen to this.
Yeah. Now he was talking about like if you came back and your work is just kurandaranda around, like your work is just moving around, do you think this is Serena where you can just walk in and walk out as you please? And he told me like, I have not seen you help the nanny with any housework. I have not seen you doing anything, you know? So yeah, that's how he said a lot of things, but in my native language. But in South Africa, that is what he was trying to say. Like, my work is not like, this is not a hotel where you can walk in and walk out as you please, and you're not doing anything, and you're also just eating and relaxing. So what are the kids getting from you? How are you helping the kids now that you're here and you haven't been here? So how are you helping the kids now that you're here? What are they gaining from you? I remember I just kept quiet, and now he kept nagging me like, it's you I'm talking to. Why are you not responding? Now in our language, it's you I'm talking to. Why are you not responding? And I remember just telling him, Master, I don't want to be performative. I have helped, but you have not seen me helping. That's why you're assuming that I have been doing nothing around.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you, unless you want me to time when you'll be coming back so that I can start performing all these things that you're mentioning, then just say that so that I can push the housework that I was supposed to help the nanny with until the time that you're coming back so that I can start doing it. Yeah. And I remember telling him, as much as I don't have a checklist of what I'm doing for the kids. I did not come back with a checklist of what I'm supposed to do. So I told him, unless you have a checklist, you can send it to me so that I can be ticking whatever is in your checklist. So, and then I remember after I had told him that, he told me, that mouth, you're going to take it back where you have been married to. And now in my language, I don't know, it sounds nicer.
Go for it. Say
in
it.
English.
Say it.
No. Now he told me, hiyo mdomo yako utairudisha huko kwenye ulikuwa umeolewa, usiniletee hiyo mdomo. Yeah, your mouth, you'll take it back where you were married, because now he understood I was married now because now I'm not with him, now I'm married.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll take that mouth back to where you were married. And I remember I just kept quiet and was like, okay, I've heard what you've said, and perhaps I'll do more. I'll do more when you're around. So that conversation ended. So on the third day, I was sleeping in the room that I used to sleep in with, the kids. So I remember he on the third day he walked into the room, and he came and woke me up and told me, come, we need to talk. And I told him, no, it's so late. Can we talk tomorrow during the day? I'm asleep. And he was like, no, come, let's talk right now. We need to talk right now. And I remember I was so stuck, like my body became stiff. And now he had started now touching me. He had started touching me, and he was now pulling me, basically. And I remember I completely refused to leave the bed. And so he carried me.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I just want us to talk. So he carried me to his room, basically. And while we are there, I remember I told him now, because after he had carried me, he put me down like as if I'm sleeping. And I remember wanting to sit up. And he was like, no, we can talk while, Yeah, let's just talk in this position. And no, I told him, no, just tell me what you want to tell me. I want to go back to sleep. And he started asking me, so why are you here? And I told him, I'm here for my son's birthday. I'm here for the preparation because, you know, I'm here for the kids. I'm here to see the kids. And he was like, no, but you know, I'm also here. So why are you here?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So he
Mm-mm.
kept on saying, but I'm also here. Why are you really here? And I remember I just kept telling him, I'm here for the kids. And if you want, I can leave. I can actually leave. If you feel like it's a problem, can I leave tomorrow? And he was like, no, 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 no. And now he started removing my pants. He was like, you know, we can talk about this. And I remember just telling him, no, we actually cannot. And I was pulling back my pants. My heart was racing. And he's stronger than me. He's taller than me. He's basically just overall way stronger than I am. And after so much begging, he had his way with me. Basically, he raped me. And afterwards, immediately afterwards, he slept. He actually slept. And I woke up and as I was trying to leave the bed, he got up again and was like, no, where are you going? Come, no, just come, let's cuddle. And I was like, no, I want to go back to sleep. And I remember I cried. I got into the bathroom and cried so much. But at the back of my head, I was like, you know, I could leave right now, but I don't want, especially my daughter, because now she understood more. I didn't want her to feel like I've left her. Because remember when I went to see my friend and she came from school and didn't find me?
Mm-hmm.
She actually was hurt and was crying and was telling the nanny and the dad that I had left her.
Mm.
So I wanted to leave the next day, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to put her through that again. So I
Mm.
just chose, I told myself after the birthday, I'll actually leave. So the next day, so that was that on the third day. The next day again, he came into the room and now he was squatting beside the bed where, on my side of the bed where I was sleeping. And he started telling me, it's the end of the month. Now, that was January 31st. He started telling me, it's the end of the month. Why don't we just finish the month properly? Please come, let's just cuddle. And I remember telling him, no, I don't want to cuddle. I'm fine where I am. Can I please just sleep? And he was like, no, 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 just come. It's just cuddling. I won't even touch you. We are not doing anything. Yeah. I refused. He carried me, same as the previous night. I refused. He just lifted me up the way I was sleeping. He just lifted me up, carried me, and took me to his bedroom. And yeah, it was not cuddling. It was actually not cuddling. And he had his way with me again. Yeah. After he was done, I went back to my room and that was that. I slept. Now the following day was my son's birthday. Yeah, we went for the birthday. It was nice. And then now on Monday, my nanny told me, because you're here, I need to go see my mom so that when you leave, I would have like at least gone and seen her. And I didn't want to disappoint her because she's the one that is basically taking care of, you know, my kids. And I was like, okay, at least if you want to do something for yourself, then it's fine. Um, you just go do it. And so that was that. I had to stay until she came back. So when she came back, I left. And since then, I we haven't spoken with Master, but I've spoken to the kids, I think, once. Once on call. But after I left, I actually just felt so depleted. I didn't have any energy. I felt like, you know, I was regretting actually going back.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where we are currently at.
So the kids are with him
Yes.
because he has a job and he has money to look after them.
Yeah.
And where do you stay now?
I stay with my sister in the city.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is there room for you, your kids, and your sister to be together?
Um, Not really, because my daughter goes to school where they live, where they are currently living. And I remember back in December when I had taken the kids, he refused to support with anything. He told me now that I've taken the kids, even if it's for the holiday, I should be able to cater to them now that I'm with them. But if the kids come back to him, he will provide. That is what he said. He'll only provide if the kids are with him. So I took that and I understood it. And I where I'm at right now, because of that dynamic and what he had said, I felt like I still feel like I cannot take the kids. I'll be doing a disservice to my daughter because she goes to. I don't want to disrupt the entire thing.
I want to be careful how I say this, but also feel I'll be doing an injustice if I don't say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my view, just my thought. You,
Mm-hmm.
he's an abusive man in every way possible that you can think of. Sexually,
Mm-hmm.
financially, emotionally, physically, every one of those, and you've experienced all of those.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a man with limits.
Yeah.
I worry about the safety of your children. In particular, the safety of your daughter.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have left this conversation feeling extremely uncomfortable if I hadn't expressed that.
Yeah, and I get it. I actually do get it.
Please do what you can to have, if not them, have her with you. I know you're talking about the stability of a school.
Mm-hmm.
I hope there are schools around where you are.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. She's very young. Children are very resilient. They adapt to change and settle a hell of a lot quicker than we give them credit for. They are absolute machines. They are beasts. Highly adaptable,
Mm-hmm.
highly impressionable. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how Chapter Zero impressed a lot of what you are now as an adult.
Yeah.
Seeing your mom go through stuff, seeing your dad go through stuff, seeing dysfunction being the norm, and that being the reason why you kept quiet. The number of things that you kept quiet for is a lot. I actually made a note of it to say you kept quiet a lot. And then you said, you always reminded me, remember Chapter Zero. I saw this with my parents as I was growing up. So what are your children seeing with the man who's treated you this way as they are growing up? Because parents lead children in a way that the children will learn to live and become as the norm.
Yeah.
So whatever values you've seen in this man as an adult, your children will see it and will very likely perpetuate. I actually feel we've got a very urgent case here to have those children back. I understand the need for support. I don't want to downplay that. I know how incredibly important it is to be able to support children. I have a son who I will do anything on the planet for in terms of provisions. Or I'll stop at absolutely nothing to make that happen for him. To have someone say that they have a conditional offer for taking care of children is abusive in two forms, emotionally and financially.
Yeah.
So the desire, this guy's a classic abuser. He's got all of the traits of an abusive man. Every single one of the boxes that are possibly ticked, he has ticked. And he has no limits. How can we help you here? Because I'm genuinely worried about your kids. And also don't want to put you in a position that you feel pressured. How can we help?
I think right now, because, when I came to live with my sister, she was living alone. So, of course, the space is smaller. And when the kids come, they're coming with the nanny too, because I'm in the process of looking for a job. So I cannot stay without a nanny. So I had started doing some things to accommodate them. Like I already bought a bed. I bought two, like a double decker. You know them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a double decker bed. And I also started slowly buying clothes for the kids, clothes that they would use while they are here. So now I had not yet bought the mattresses for the beds for the kids. And majorly, currently where I'm at, I didn't see how I would accommodate them if they were to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your work situation. You were working before, right?
Yeah.
Is there a chance you can get back to that place or to do something similar in a different company?
Yeah, there is a chance I could do something similar but not get back to the same place, because remember, I didn't leave nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you actively looking for a job now, or trying to set a business up to get some income?
I'm actually actively looking for a job. I have worked remotely before. I am in digital marketing and social media management. So that is what, aside from business, that is what I have majorly done. Yeah.
So because I've got Kenyans who actively listen to this podcast, but what can I put as a call to action for them to help you? You've got to be very clear here, because I know they will reach out to me.
Yeah.
What would you like them to help you with?
With a job, honestly, because I have been applying since October with no luck yet. So I have done in school, I have studied HR, human resource management, and I have certifications for that. And I have also taken myself to learn the skills of digital marketing and social media management. So that is what I have done majorly for 3 years. And I have my portfolio and everything ready. So anything human resource management related, because I have practiced that for a year, partly in a workplace and also as an intern, and now digital marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. This is the perfect opportunity to sell yourself. So I want you to do that for the next 30 seconds or the next minute or so. And I'll give an example. If I was in your place and I'm given this opportunity, I'd be saying, hi, my name is Tinto and I'm a podcaster. I've been podcasting for the best part of half a decade. This is 6 years now, approaching 10 years, and with a lot of confidence in building audiences that are engaged and that keep coming back to support communities and share stories that have valuable lessons for individuals. If my skill set is appealable to you, I'd like you to reach out to Tinto at The Feeling Station on Instagram. And my social media handle is blah, 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 blah. We're not going to share that here because you're meant to be anonymous. And yeah, if you feel that this is suitable for you, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to serve you. That's how I would say it. So I need you to say that right now for the person that you want to actually take you on. This is your pitch. This is your investor pitch. Okay. Go for it.
So my name is Sira. I am a digital marketer, content creator, social media manager, and also a human resource assistant. I help brands with their visibility online, and I'm also very good at administrative work. So if you feel like my skills can be of value to your company, to your organization, please feel free to reach out to me at gmail.com. Thank you.
Fantastic. That has just put a really big smile on my face. And I am confident something is going to come out of this. Thank you so much, Sarah.
I hope so.
Yeah, you've told a really moving story. Thank you. And for those of you who've made it to the end of this 2-part series, I'm just going to play back the lessons for you. Number 1, control often wears the costume of care. You couldn't have said it better. That's exactly what has been happening with Master. Number 2, your intuition speaks better. Sorry, let me say that again. Number 2, your intuition speaks before your mind catches up. Number 3, trauma lives in secrecy and isolation. Healing happens in witnessed truth. And I think we are witnesses to what your healing journey is about to really start looking like. And we are positive for it. Number 4, stability begins when you stop abandoning yourself, even if others are uncomfortable. I totally agree. And I think the others we're talking about are all of the people who are telling you to stay. And all of those who are wishing that you would stay, which is Master. And no, we want you to actually start looking after yourself. And I was just thinking, I'm just slipping in this number 5 for myself to say, parents lead children in a way that you'd love them to live when they're grown, because they will always remember it. In the same way you always remember chapter 0, your 2 lovely angels will remember this chapter of their life.
Yeah.
And feelers, please don't let me down. This is the first time we've made such an important call to action. We would like to support Sira in every way that we possibly can, particularly to have her children be with her and for her to improve her welfare and for her to have a better place to stay so that she will have a happy home with kids that remember their chapter 0 as something that is blissful and happy. And if this is something you can help with, please hit me up in the DMs. Find me on Instagram if we're not connected. And our handle there is Feeling, STN, or just search for The Feeling Station. And we should come up in a black and yellow logo. It's nearly impossible to miss us. You've been listening to another episode of The Feeling Station. My host is Tinto. My name is Tinto. And I will catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis andaro raini and chagezai.
Tell me what you're feeling now that it's over.
Satis andaro raini and chagezai.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motor noto kujidziro amai.
Kujidziro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motor noto kujidziro amai.